So hey guys. So we have a little bit of new news. As they know, and I'm sure a couple of you watching might know, I recently bought a Ninja 500.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, 2025 KRT, 57 miles on it when I got it. Super
Nice.
exciting. I kind of made the decision after I rode Steven's 400, and then one of my friends, Sean's R6 at Jennings. And while the R6 is a lot of fun, and I feel like I will definitely own one someday, I think for now I kind of want to stick to a cheaper part of the hobby, which is going to be those little bikes. Recently kind of found out that with the new Weir rules, I'm not going to be racing the 400 class like I thought though. So it's kind of, I don't really know what to think of that yet.
So you and I won't be. I was so excited to race against
I
you.
know. Like that's how it was in the rules last season. So I got to wait for Azura to announce what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You're gonna switch, you think?
Well, what do you mean?
Like do more Azra events?
I'd probably be my idea too. I'd rather do that just because there's not like team championship stuff like that anyway.
Yeah.
And since Angela's going to be out for the first couple rounds anyway, like if I switch if the Atlanta dates line up for Azura and I get to have actually more fun in the class, then like I might switch to Azura. I don't know. I kind of prefer to travel with the team though and do whatever y'all do, to be honest.
I think that's
the huge, like I might have a really annoying race or something like that because the way it was kind of told to me was just like, well, technically the 4RRs are also going to be in my class in Weira. And I don't really think that makes sense.
That makes no sense.
The guy kind of said it's like, well, if they show up, but I don't want like my weekend to be banked on.
What else? So it's basically the 450 plus class and the 400RR are in the same class. Is there any other bikes in that class?
I don't remember. Like there are, but they don't list them by bike. They list them by like specs. Like if your engine's between this and this, or if it's four stroke liquid cooled this, or like whatever. So it's kind of hard to
gauge like what kind of bike.
Yeah, that's why I asked him. I was like, "What are the common bikes there?" He's like, "Well, technically the ZX4RR runs in that, but like they're not that common right now." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of the Ninja 500 only has 51 more CCs or 52 more CCs than the Ninja 400. So it's like it really doesn't make sense. Like yours built makes the same power that mine does stock,
right? Yeah,
so then build yours.
To me, it makes it more sense to have the 450 plus class and the 400 class in the same class than it does to have a 400RR in any class with a twin. Maybe the big twins, but certainly not those small displacement twins. You know, like it doesn't. It's such a different. I mean, the twins have more torque. They can get off the line faster. But I mean, if you're good at the race start, it's not going to matter. You're going to have your RPMs up anyway. So I mean, if you're good with the throttle, you'll keep your RPMs up just like an R6 would. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about it yet. I really gotta. It's kind of a weird holding pattern now because if I'm already like I'm like, well, I'm not gonna have it fully race built by the time the first race comes around. It's just not in the cards. Like it's not in the budget. But now I'm like, do I hold off?
But what do you mean by fully race built? You mean like ready to race or like?
I mean, I'm probably gonna tape it up and run it like mostly OEM. Like I'll have rear sets.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple different sprockets.
I mean, like in the beginning, that's all you need. Because you're just getting used to the bike and everything like that, you know?
But it's not like I'm going to have, like I had on my 650 where I had Ohlins and I had a quick shifter and like race fairings and everything like that. So it's not going to be.
Do I?
Yeah.
No, and I don't. I've thought about putting one on, but the amount of work to put one on is a lot.
I didn't put it on the 650. It came with the 650. Going back from using the 650 to using his and then using the R3 that didn't have one either. The R6 had a quick shifter and a blipper. That was nice. You don't touch a clutch. It's an automatic bike at that point. Really, you're just like. Bah, 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 bah. But I don't know. It's a nice thing, but it's not a necessary thing. Like there's so many things that are going to be put above getting a quick shifter.
Certain corners that it would help. I watching Dan Spalding's video of him chasing around the Dreyer Ella on Jennings and seeing how fast 345 went with his downshifts. I was like, okay, I could see that. I could see why you would,
want a blipper.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's the only situation right now that I could see where it's useful because you're double downshifting, right? And you're not having to, hit your clutch between them. Not that I hit my clutch that long, but I think when I saw that, I was like, I can see the advantage there.
But I mean, you kind of need his times for that to be really
Well, it's
Like,
also,
I feel like for my times, like, what is that going to save me? You know?
I'm 2 seconds off.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, maybe, like, somebody more my speed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think too,
So-
like there's something to be said about going fast on a stock bike and then having all those nice upgrades.
Things
Like,
Like
added to
you
it.
should, like if a system fails or something like what if you're in the race and your quick shifter's not working, and
Oh, yeah.
suddenly you don't know how to shift?
Yeah.
You're screwed then. Like you should not be.
Yeah.
You should be using them as an assist and not a crutch. And I think that's a huge thing that a lot of people kind of go backwards on now.
Yeah.
Is they're like, I want all the bells and
Because
whistles
they
right
start
away.
out with an automatic bike with traction control, wheelie control, and everything else.
Well, Grayson's gonna have that on his R9.
Yeah, but he started out with an analog bike, you know?
Yeah.
Well, no, he had a blipper, but it's not that it worked anyway. Grayson, every race I think last season had to take open stuff.
Yeah.
Like every race. You remember Nola? He had his like gas tank like propped up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that you get used to doing that, though. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate. And when you're undoing your gas tank, that sucks. On
Yeah,
a track
I don't know
side.
what I'm gonna do about the 500 yet, because I guess like in an endurance class they made it like its own class.
Yeah. But you're on the track at the same time as everybody else
Yeah,
because that's just the way the endurances work.
so like, I do want to get into endurance. I think it would be fun. I know you've expressed a lot of interest, and I know you would be down.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. That's why, I mean, that's where I'm looking at it in Atlanta because that's their first one. They only do 4 endurance rounds
I almost argue that it's cheaper.
to do the endurance. Yeah.
I can see that.
I like
Because you're dividing
as
the
a
cost.
team. Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
we ran an endurance series, it would be cheaper than the 3 of us running a whole independent season.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can see that for sure. You don't get I think you'd lose a lot. You know, you don't get as many shots at being on the podium. And I think the competition is high
For the endurance?
for
for
sure.
the endurance.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to
So does Wira do it with a novice and an expert? Like, is there a novice endurance group and then an expert endurance group,
I don't know.
or like amateur and expert?
I don't know.
See, that was the
I
big
feel
thing
like
that
they
like
would.
pushed me away from doing the Soprano endurance at Jennings. Was I was like, there are literal Moto America kids there.
Yeah. But I still think we would have been competitive. Next year we're definitely
We would have
gonna-
default podium though because somebody's bike blew up.
I don't like default podiums. I'll take them all day. I'll bring them home. But
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like that was my thing. Is like, we'd be competitive, yeah, but like some of them like have like way more experience than that, or like
Mhm.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see. Obviously, that event's a little bit smaller, so if it got bigger, they could, which is why I was curious. I want to say Weira does split it.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I
that
don't
would
know
make
how
the
that
most
works.
sense.
I don't know. I really
Because then
endurance
again-
racing as a whole is really cool. Like if you go further into the like dive of what
Yeah.
IMSA does and everything like that, like you have to have a driver that only has a certain amount of experience
Yeah.
on your team. And they have
That's
to-
pretty cool. I like
certain
that.
amount of like
Yeah.
time and stuff like that. Like
That's cool.
that would be a really cool.
And if you're
take at
BMW,
Jennings.
you can just force everybody off the track.
Well, you might get shown a nice finger for it from a Corvette, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. My 650 is still in the shop, still working on that
Yeah.
too. So
Damn.
because that's what I was gonna do with the 650
Let's
is
make it the
Endurance.
endurance bike.
yeah.
See, because you have this 500, and I'm like, man, because what's going to happen is I think you're going to race Daytona on that 500.
Well, we'll see what Azra says. It might not even be in your class.
Yeah, but if you're racing at Daytona on a 500, like I think you'd be really fun to race against. You and I haven't actually raced against each other in the same class, like truly on the same platform, kind of
Yeah.
like I mean,
You still beat me on a smaller platform, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean that was that was in the beginning. I think now it would be very different. I think
I think it'd be
the
entertaining.
last season, even if you were on your 650, where you and I would be battling. But now that you're on a 500, I'm not going to be able to keep up with you after maybe the second race because you're going to be comfortable.
We'll
on
see.
it.
Like I still got to figure out like what I'm gonna do with it all,
Yeah,
and hopefully when I graduate, like I'll have more of a disposable income to really throw at it too.
yeah. 'Cause- Because it just makes me go, oh man, by the time Daytona comes around, I think I'm one of 500. I don't know. I might change my mind.
to
but-
wait and see what happens with the classes though, because like
Yeah.
that's a really hard spot for me to be in right now with Weira because I don't really like. I'm not gonna go buy my license now.
Well, yeah, but think about it like this though. Like the 400 class is going to go away because the production stopped. Right?
Wait, seriously?
The Ninja 400.
They don't
Yeah.
make Ninja 400s anymore.
Yeah. So production stopped.
24 was the last year.
They only
They
made
stopped
it.
them in like 23.
Yeah, 23 was last year. They only made
Oh,
it for 5
damn.
years. Right? So eventually those bikes are just going to kind of fade into the 300, 400 class and whatever's left. And,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be like, you know, so they're going to create, in my opinion, they're going to create, that's going to be the 500 class. They're going to kick out the 400 RR long term because it doesn't belong there. And they're going to have the 500 twin class. Like,
maybe, I mean, we'll see because there are 3 bikes that classify under that 500cc category right now because you have the CF Moto one or whatever.
Yep.
You have the Kawasaki, the Ninja 500, and then you have the Aprilia RS 457.
Yeah.
So what Roman has?
Yeah.
So you'll be racing against him.
So,
I will
so in
have
my
to run.
opinion, that is a stronger class than the 400 ever was. Because the 400 class only had the
It's
400
still so
bike.
new though. Like it's so hard. Like,
Because nobody has those bikes because all 3 of those bikes are brand new.
but like,
Yeah.
I think trying to put them off in their own is the wrong thing. Like, I think they belong
But-
in the 400 class.
but
Like,
the
there was
thing
a
is they
reason
have
that's where they shoved them in
Until
right
they
now.
have enough in the class to split it.
Maybe, but like you said, if that 400 class is gonna die out, then it's just like
It just
run it
naturally
or don't.
evolves.
Like, yeah.
But it's also like they have to do it at some point. You know, they can't just keep pushing it and pushing it.
What do
You know,
mean?
it's almost like they have to make that clean break. Like, okay, this is a new class. Bang. Like from here on out, this is a new
I think they're
class.
still trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
mean,
hard
obviously they
because
got
it's like,
Kingstire now, but
like, so now my 500 goes against like what my 650 was, and the 650 was already the turd of that class, and the 500 performs less than that.
yeah.
So like now I'm going. You have in the same class, you have an RS 660 against a Ninja 500.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the 660 in that class?
I don't
too?
know. I have to
Okay,
read further.
I don't think it is.
It depends.
Yeah.
So with Pan Am, the RS 660 is heavyweight.
Yeah.
Because it's an absolute beast of a machine.
Mm-hmm.
But in Azura, it's lightweight.
Yeah.
Which
is-
I got my doors blown off on the 650 at Atlanta.
And
by one of
400
those.
RR is also lightweight, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's
I
what
think
Dan,
that's in all of them. Yeah.
Dan was facing in Daytona.
Yeah.
During the October.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Unfortunately, I'm a little more invested now than I thought I wanted to be. We'll see. Too.
I think long term it's gonna work out for you though.
I hope so,
Because-
but what if in 2 years they do a refresh and now the bike's like the new bike's better, like they do a slight modification or something like that, and then now I have the older not so great. Like that's the thing is like I thought that this is gonna be the new 400 class. This is gonna be that king.
I think it is.
Right, but like we'll see. If Azra takes a different stance,
Yeah.
then Weira does, I think it'll be interesting. Part of me also though, because the guy was like, we'll see how it does in 2025 and make adjustments for 26. So it's like, do I need to go and get my ass whooped for them to understand that it doesn't belong
Just
there?
sandbag it all year long.
Yeah, but like,
He's 4 seconds slower than the 400 class. This is ridiculous.
yeah, I don't know. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because Pan Am 2, I still don't think has a Superbike 400 Corsa class or anything like that. I think they still have the same. They added something new on their schedule too, or something new in their rule book. I don't remember what it is, but I remember they were talking about doing something new last year, and I saw it in their rule book, and I was like, "Oh, what is that?"
Ooh.
I think it's more to like leaning towards endurance stuff.
Oh yeah.
This year, I just don't think the Pan Am schedule lined up for us, unfortunately.
Yeah. I love that org. I thought they were great.
They are definitely the most organized. Like the way like the event is run is hands down like my favorite experience.
Mhm.
Like having competed with Azura at Road Atlanta and at Daytona, like nothing against them. I still like had a lot of fun at those events. I still had like it was fun. I got to hang out with my team. It was a racetrack, like, the standard.
Yeah.
But like the Pan Am, like some of the like I guess amenities that they have just like really amplified the experience. And I'm really curious to see how Weira compares or like how it lines up. But
Yeah, me too. Azure though, they are
We
on
gotta
time.
Wrap up.
we do have to wrap it up.
We got
Speaking
6
of
minutes.
time.
Speaking
Yeah.
of time, yeah.
We-
Being
yeah.
on time.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
No, that's
No, but
perfect.
Azura is on time. Like you cut the practice session at Daytona because you're like that meeting's gonna run over, and I want my track time
because
And
they
sure
will
enough-
they will make
sure
the track
enough,
hot.
Yeah.
They don't care if the rider meeting is going on. The track's hot.
Yeah.
They run their track on time,
Yeah.
which I appreciate a lot. even though it's
Yeah,
not
I think
coordinated with the rest of the activities going on, like the riders meeting. But
I'm more for it than against it, but I think they should fix that. Like, I think it's
Yes.
something that like you
They should
ideally
have-
don't want to
Yeah.
overlap or interfere. But
but
yeah, so stay tuned. We'll kind of keep everything updated. And
Yeah.
We'll let you know how it all goes.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah,
but you're racing no matter what.
You have to, man. Come on.
we'll see.
It's my first
I'm not
season.
gonna be able to do it in March. I don't think I can swing it financially.
Okay.
I would like to. My priority is VIR
Yes.
Yeah.
at the moment.
New track.
New track.
Is it a race too?
It's a race.
It's a race.
And a track day.
Or Azra or Wira?
Azra.
Azra.
So
Okay.
I'm holding on to hope that I'll actually have a 400 race
Mm-hmm.
like for that. I don't know. I will still travel to the best of my ability with the team. I'd love to still go do content, go hang out, pit, like be a little pit biatch. Support you guys any way I can, like coaching, helping you guys do like GoPro stuff. Obviously not coaching you. You gotta go slower for me. But like I can work with you and I can like kind of talk you guys through the track, especially if it's a track I've been to before. Like
I'm gonna need a lot.
I can give you my experience, like what I thought of this, and this. And I don't know. I did take first in that Atlanta race for my class.
Ooh.
I beat out an R7 and a ZX4RR for that. So I know what I'm doing.
But
to an
then
extent.
what happened?
And that's all we have time for.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you.
Later.